So our null hypothesis, I'll go over here, is that pi sub 1 equals pi sub 2. That is, our null hypothesis is that the proportion of females who are left-handed equals the proportion of males that are left-handed. And then the alternative hypothesis is that the proportion of females who are left-handed does not equal the proportion of males that are left-handed. Now, to use the chi-square test, what we are going to use in our numbers is f sub o, which is the observed number of females who are left-handed, the observed number of males that are left-handed, and f sub e, which is going to be the expected number of females who are left-handed, the expected number of males who are left-handed. And we're also going to fill in the other squares besides the females left-handed and the males left-handed. We'll also fill in the right-handed for both, and then the totals. So let's look in our books on page 464. And on page 464, you see at the top in 12.1 the formula for the chi-square test, and you notice the little f sub o's, f observed, and f expected, f sub e's. Okay, then in 12.2 on that page, you will see the formula for P bar. Now, P bar is the average proportion for the whole sample. Okay, this is in English, so that means it's for the sample, whereas if it was pi, that would be for the entire population. So this is just the sample. Okay, now the degrees of freedom for the chi-square test is going to be C minus 1, where C equals the number of columns, and times R minus 1, where R equals the number of rows. So in our case, this is simple. 2 columns, female and male, 2 rows, left-handed, right-handed. So 2 minus 1 times 2 minus 1, 1 times 1 equals 1 degree of freedom. Okay, that's very easy for us. Now, P bar. P bar is going to equal x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over n sub 1 plus n sub 2. This looks like this. P bar equals x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over n sub 1 plus n sub 2. Now, recall from a couple slides ago that the x's are the left-handed. So x sub 1 was 12, that was the number of left-handed females. X sub 2 was 24, the number of left-handed males. So we're going to take 12 plus 24 in the numerator and divide by the sample size, the total sample size. Okay, P bar equals, this is the x sub 1, 12, x sub 2 is 24, so we've got 36. 36 is the total number of left-handed people, and then 120 is n sub 1, 180 is n sub 2, so that's together, of course, it's 300. So that comes out to be 12%. in the sample, the proportion of people who are left-handed is 12%. That's males and females together. Notice that this p-bar does not have a 1 or 2 on it. That's the overall proportion. 12% of the people, males and females, are left-handed. Now, armed with the 12% from the sample, we can now calculate F sub E for each cell. What we're going to do is take P bar times N sub 1. P bar times N sub 1, that number will be the number that goes in the top left-hand cell, the proportion out of the sample of females who are left-handed. P bar times N sub 2 is going to be the proportion of males who are left-handed. Then 1 minus P bar. Now, P bar is the proportion in the sample who are left-handed. 1 minus P bar will be the proportion who are right-handed. The proportion who are right-handed, not the number. The proportion who are right-handed. So 1 minus P bar times N sub 1 is going to be the number of, the proportion of females who are right-handed. Females right-handed. 1 minus P bar, which is the proportion of left-handed in the sample, times N minus 2, N sub 2, sorry, is the proportion of males who are right-handed. That is the expected number of males who are right-handed. Each of these is expected. Okay. Then within each cell, we're going to calculate these that we have over here. We're going to calculate the P bar times the N sub 1, calculate each of these, and put them in the table. So for the top left-hand quadrant, we're going to take that F sub E that we calculated a second ago, and we'll get to this in a minute. We're going to subtract that from the observed, and then square that and divide by F sub E. So this is going to be F sub O minus F sub E squared over F sub E. Okay? And then we're going to do that for each quadrant, the observed and the expected in each of those cells or each of those quadrants. And then we're going to add those up. Okay, so in the top left-hand quadrant, so this is females left-handed. So in that quadrant, we're going to have we're going to have 12 minus 12 was the observed number of females left-handed. I'm going to square this. I like to put the squares on because I forget otherwise. Over F sub, okay, this is going to be F sub E, and this is F sub E. Okay, so let's go back. In the top left-hand quadrant, we're going to have the P bar, which was 12%. 12% times N sub 1, which was 120.